Hello students. In the last session we have discussed about three types of elementary signals: unit step, unit ramp and unit parabolic signals. Now let us continue with unit impulse function. So impulse function is represented by del of t and it is also called as Dirac delta function. And here we are seeing one property of unit impulse function, that is minus infinity to infinity integration del of t dt is equal to 1. So here how we got this integration function. So what is the problem in unit impulse function? Why it is called as unmanageable signal? To make it manageable signal, I am going for, or this property is evaluated to make the impulse function manageable. So here the impulse function is represented by del of t, and del of t is equal to 0 for t not equal to 0, and exactly t equal to 0 it is not equal to 0. Understood? This is del of t. At t is equal to 0, it is having infinity amplitude, and everywhere except t is equal to 0, it is having magnitude 0. Left side, right side, all the values are 0 except t is equal to 0. But exactly at t is equal to 0, what is a magnitude? It is having infinity. That is exactly at t is equal to 0, the amplitude is going from 0 to infinity and returns back from infinity to 0 in the same interval. Okay, that's why del of t called unmanageable signal. So here to make it manageable signal, I am going for one property, that is minus infinity to infinity del of t dt is equal to 1. That is area under the curve is equal to 1. This is area property of del of t. Okay. So here del of t is unmanageable signal. The amplitude is jumping from 0 to infinity and infinity to 0 in the same interval. So to make it manageable signal, I am taking this property. And here we are going to discuss the properties of unit impulse signal, which are very important. And there are 6 properties for continuous unit times unit impulse, and there are 4 properties for discrete impulse. We'll see now. So here del of t is even signal. So how I can say the del of t is even? So here if this is del of t signal, okay, so if I fold, what will happen? Is there any changes in t values? Is it becoming positive to negative or negative to positive? No, it is not moving. The values of n or the values of t, the values of t is not changing from positive to negative or negative to positive. Okay, so if I fold the signal like this, I will get the same signal. Folding is nothing but positive t values are becoming negative t values and negative t values are becoming positive. So there is no change in the signal. So it is even signal. First property. And what is second property? We'll see shifting property and sampling property at a time. 2 and 5. Okay. and it is already, we have seen the area property, minus infinity to infinity del of t dt is equal to 1. Unit step is having 1, or del of t is nothing but, if I move this integration towards this side, this will become differentiation. So if I do the integration for del of t, I will get u of t, or if I do the differentiation for u of t, I will get del of t. Okay. Next one is scaling property. So next we'll see clearly how I got this scaling property later, and we will see the scaling property very clearly in our next sessions. But here just see the formula. Del of at is equal to 1 by a modulus of a into del of t. Means here whatever the values of a I have taken. Here if for example del of 3t is there, and I will write it as 1 by 3 into del of t. If I am having here minus, I will also write here 1 by 3 into del of t. Whatever the value of a, either positive or negative, you have to consider the modulus value. That is only the positive value. That is time scaling property. Next we will see sampling and shifting property now clearly. Okay. Just consider a function like this. This is known as f of t. Okay. Next I am considering this is del of t. Del of t is existed only at t is equal to 0 with not equal to 0 magnitude. Okay, we can't say clearly the magnitude. The magnitude is varying from 0 to infinity and infinity to 0. If I multiply these two signals, that is f of t into del of t, what is the signal I am getting? Okay, here except at t is equal to 0, the magnitude is 0. It's this side is also magnitude is 0. If this magnitude is multiplied with 0, I will get 0 this side, and this magnitude multiplying with 0 magnitude, I will get here also 0. Only at t is equal to 0, I will get one value, that is nothing but this magnitude. F of t into del of t is equal to, I am writing f of 0 into del of t. F of 0 is nothing but exactly at t is equal to 0, I am getting one magnitude. That's why I am writing f of 0 into del of t. Okay, so here this is function f of t. If I consider this is t is equal to a, this is del of t minus a, that is nothing but shifted version of del of t. The del of t is shifted at t is equal to a. Then where is the output? I will get output exactly at t is equal to a only, because left side of this t is equal to a, right side of this t is equal to a, thus it is having 0 magnitude. 0 magnitude is multiplied with means from here it is 0, here it is 0. Only at t is equal to a, I will get the value, that is f of t into del of t minus a. Okay, f of t is multiplied with del of t minus a, only at t is equal to a I will get. So this can be written as f of t into del of t minus a can be written as f of a into del of t minus a. Here what in the right hand side, what is changed? Exactly at t is equal to a, because exactly at t is equal to a I am getting the value. That's why just instead of t I will replace it with a. Here t is equal to 0, that's why it is 0. Okay, so this is known as sampling property of del of t. This is known as sampling property of del of t. See, x of t into del of t minus t naught is equal to x of t naught into del of t minus t naught, which is nothing but x of t naught only, because here I am replacing it with 1 because it is unmanageable signal. Here I am using the property of area. Area property means the area under the curve is always equal to 1. So this is equal to 1. So I will get only x of t naught. Okay. X of t into del of t is nothing but x of 0 into del of t. Del of t is nothing but 1. It is equal to x of 0. So this is nothing but sampling property. Then what is shifting property? Not shifting. SHI is, it is not SHI shifting, it is SI shifting property of del of t. So what is shifting property of del of t? We'll see. Same. If I do the integration minus infinity to infinity f of t into del of t into dt. Okay. So what is f of t into del of t? So I can write it is f of 0 into del of t dt. So here I will write f of 0 outside, minus infinity to infinity del of t into dt is nothing but f of 0. Minus infinity to infinity f of t into del of t minus a into dt. What is f of t into del of t minus a into dt? Can be written as f of a into del of t minus a. Whatever I have explained before, I am writing in derivation form. Minus infinity to infinity del of t minus a into dt. The area under the curve is always equal to 1. So here I am representing with f of a. It is known as shifting property. See here. This is shifting property. Next, very important property, that is x of t is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of tau del of t minus tau data. It is nothing but convolution property. So in the same way, here I am having properties of discrete time unit impulse. Till now we have discussed in t, small t terms, continuous term. Here discrete time, del of n. So what is the relationship between del of n and u of n? In the same way, here I am having convolution property in time domain, continuous time. Here convolution property in discrete time. Okay. If I am having integration in time, continuous time, that will be changed to summation. If I am having differentiation in continuous time, it will be changed as difference in discrete time. Okay. Differentiation, difference, integration, summation. Next here, sinusoidal signal. So we know general representation of sinusoidal signals may be sine or cos signals. We can represent either sine or cos. These two are called as sinusoidal signals. So sinusoidal signal in continuous time representation having magnitude A, time period t pi by omega. Here no need to discuss about periodicity. Later we will have a clear discussion about periodicity. Okay. Simply how to represent a sinusoidal signal in functional form and graphical form. Next, real exponential signal. Exponential signal is nothing but it is represented in continuous form, it is a into e power alpha t. In discrete form it is a power n for all n values. So here I am taking 3 cases for continuous, 4 cases for discrete. Okay. See, if alpha is equal to 0, if alpha is positive, if alpha is negative. If alpha is 0, e power 0 is 1, so I am having x of t is equal to a, that is constant amplitude. If alpha is positive, for example, for different t values, I can consider here the t values different, but alpha is always positive. If alpha is positive, I will get growing exponential. If alpha is negative, I will get decaying exponential. In the same way, here discrete, you have to consider all values of n, only a value is changing. If a is greater than 1, for example, I am considering here 2. Okay, 2 power n values you have to consider all, negative, 0, positive. 2 power 0, 1, 2 power 2, 4, 2 power 3, 8, 2 power 4, 16, like this. It is exponentially increasing. If a value is in between 0 to 1, that is 1 by 2, it is decreasing like this. You just substitute the value of 1 by 2 in a place of a and consider all n values. Just consider 4 negative values, 0, next 4 positive values. You will get the waveform like this, exponentially decreasing. If a value is less than 1, like this, if a value is in between -1 to 0, like this, you will get the waveform shapes. After that, real exponential, I am having complex exponential. Complex exponential means e power st, and what is s? S is equal to sigma plus j omega. Real and imaginary function. That's why the name complex exponential. Complex exponential means e power. Okay. So here I am considering 4 cases. If s is equal to 0, what will happen? E power 0, 1. So only constant amplitude like this. If s is equal to minus sigma, only minus sigma, e power minus means exponentially decreasing. If s is equal to plus sigma, e power plus values, exponentially increasing. If I consider only s is equal to j omega means imaginary part. Imaginary part means here I am having oscillations. Okay, imaginary part with the oscillations. It means it is forming one sinusoidal signal like this. Oscillations with the constant amplitude. If I am considering s is equal to sigma plus or minus j omega, where sigma value is less than 0. Okay, and one more condition is s is equal to same sigma plus or minus j omega, but sigma value is greater than 0. If sigma is less than 0, here what will happen? Imaginary part we are considering. Okay, and here see, if sigma is less than 0 means s is negative, s is equal to minus sigma like this. So here we are having exponentially decreasing function. So like this. Only sigma is considering, the waveform shape will be like this. But I am considering also j omega means oscillations should present, but it should have exponentially decrease amplitude like this. Amplitude is first more, next it is going on decreasing. Okay, here if I consider s is equal to sigma plus j omega means real and imaginary both I am considering. If only real I am considering, that too sigma is greater than 0 means positive, it is having exponentially increasing amplitude. But here I am also considering j omega imaginary, means it is having oscillations, but the oscillations are having increasing amplitude like this. So it is complex exponential function. In the same way, just we'll see 3 more important signals we are going to discuss in the next sessions. That is signum function, represented as sgn of t. It is having plus or minus 1 magnitudes, plus 1 t greater than 0, minus 1 t less than 0. Next, sinc function, it is having maximum amplitude magnitude at t is equal to 0. Next, the amplitudes are going on decreasing on both sides. The sinc function can be represented as sin t by t, where t is in between minus infinity to infinity. Next, Gaussian function. It is represented as g of t. It is e power minus at square. The Gaussian function is represented as like this. That is most probability function. It is very useful in probabilities. The Gaussian function, you could have listened already in the math sessions. The Gaussian function, it is represented by like this. Okay, the t values from minus infinity to plus infinity. So these are the most important signals that we are going to deal in the next sessions. We'll see very important topics in the next session. Thank you.